Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good whatever time of day. Maybe for you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Layback Gamer, and we are here with the final preview of Anomaly. Comes out in 2 days. This is quite a late preview for something that's coming out in 2 days. But anyways, this one is titled Cubes, Spheres, Obelisks, Soundtrack, and Languages. Both of these, I think, are basically right here. So, as we all know, there's only 2 days left until this releases on Thursday, April 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, meaning that I will not be playing this until after I get home. Oh, fun. But hey, a bunch of people are probably in the same boat. There's some information about the language, as well as this is coming with some new soundtracks, which is pretty exciting. Can't wait to give those a listen to. But we didn't come here for this stuff. You guys probably came here for the actuals of content. So, the cube. Obviously, the golden cube is no threat. It is no more than a beautiful gift sent by a good friend. Yeah, I doubt that. This hand-sized cube shines like gold, but is impossible to scratch. As everyone knows, cubes make perfect companions. Oh yeah, I'd be watching you, Mr. Cube. Oh, maybe it is what they say. Maybe it is just a friendly golden cube, like a block of gold in Minecraft. But I don't believe that statement. Anyway, I also don't know what the reference is, what horror movie reference it's from. Anyways, it's always indicatively warm to the touch. I butchered that pronunciation. Like a trusted pet or a hug from a good friend. If you look closely, you'll see more than gold in the delightful way lights play across its surface. If you love the cube like we do, why not make a sculpture of the cube? Don't listen to what others say who say that we're unhealthily captivated by the cube. Ignore those who claim that our curiosity progressed to fascination and into obsession, that we're psychically compelled to interact with it, and we feel sick if we can't. They're just jealous of our perfect, wonderful cube. Oh, it's never that simple. Probably going to be an object of we have to continue to take a look at it. Next, we got the Nocosphere. And the Nocosphere is very much not as lovable as the cube. Even being near it hurts. It's made of dark metal, covered with curved and jagged grooves, and emanates a sensations of pain. More worryingly, when it appears, the sphere appears to be increasing in activity. It is not clear what will happen when this peaks, but if you capture it, you can decrease its activities by suppressing it. Then you can study it. Alright, interesting. Excuse me. If you study the Nocosphere, you can learn that it has a single purpose, to inflict pain. I kind of figured that based on the first part. If you can keep it suppressed, you will learn how to intentionally activate it, turning it into a weapon to use against your foes. When active, the Nocosphere will teleport to a remote location of your choice and unleash a barrage of pain on anyone nearby. The Nocosphere will continue to hunt down living creatures until it is destroyed or it chooses to depart. This leaves you free to love the cube. Yeah, there's definitely obsession with that cube, a cube that I do not trust. And this seems like it could be pretty interesting. We're seeing this was one of the images that we had in the initial preview, I believe. Next, we got the Obelisks. We've gone from squares to cubes, now to triangles. These are three varieties of obelisk, each with a different horrific effect. They all arrive from space, and they will radiate the same putrid psychic energy, which if it gradually intensifies as it approaches some dangerous limit. Excuse me. You can send colonists to suppress an obelisk to prevent it from activating. You can also mark it for study to try and learn its purpose and perhaps use it, or you can attempt to destroy it, but doing so may unleash dangerous phenomenon. Once you've complete your research, your colonists will discover that it is a fragment of a much larger arco structure that can act as an organic matter at a distance. You may discover its function sooner than that, though sometimes the obelisk self-activates and sometimes it merely suppresses or studying it enough to unleash its power. Need a quick drink of water there. Love the cube. Okay, this obsession is getting a little much for my liking for the cube. Interesting. It currently looks like it's dormant at the moment. Or at least it's trying to, or someone's studying it, I'm not sure. Also, what is that hairstyle there? Is that a helmet? That's a weird helmet that he's got on. And let's see here. The warped obelisk. This can turn living organisms into, including animals and people and trees, into bloody flesh monsters. A colonist can be mutated in several ways, from growing a bone blade tentacle to twisting their internal organs through into something thoroughly alien. Less monstrous, but just as terrifying, is the twisted obelisk. This doesn't change an organism. Instead, its crackling energy seems to pull on nearby living things, eventually sapping them away to somewhere else. If a colonist is taken, you have a hope that they can find their way out of the endless rooms and hallways. Will this take them to a new map, by chance? Or is it like any old, oh, your colonist got kidnapped? Don't worry, they might come back into the story. The final monolith wannabe is the corrupted obelisk. This uses its inhumane, complex power to duplicate intelligent creatures, theoretically without limit. Your colonist twins are not always hostile, but the duplication process is imperfect, and any twins will need the finest medical care to survive. Alright, so they're probably pretty unstable. Fascinating. Yeah, pretty cool. I'm liking these obelisks. But now we're getting on to the end game. The monolith. Oh, look. Right back to this. Just like I said in the last video, this is probably related to the end game. A monolith is the source of everything. The monolith is the conduit. Its power must be defeated. It threatens to twist and destroy everything we know. But the only way out is through. You must grow the monolith's power, widening the conduit that leads into the void until you can finally crack it open and face the twisting hell it unleashes. Only then will you be able to step through a place of nightmares, touch the machine god, and choose your fate. This sounds like it's going to be a Archonexus type of ending, where the game's just done. That's it. As soon as you get this ending, that's it. You're done. You can't play on the file anymore. Have to do some testing, and I'll be honest, it kind of would be unfortunate if that is the case, because, well, I do like the fact that with every except for the Archonexus ending and the planet-killing weapon, although the planet-killing weapon makes sense that it would be the case, it's nice that you can continue your colony after you're done with it. Like, they'll go, okay, the story for this group of people has ended, but maybe we'll continue the story with these other folks on the planet and try to have them survive. Of course, people probably just go on. I also noticed that there's a distinct lack of ghoul mentioned in this, even though they mentioned in a previous one that they'd talk about it a bit more. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. It'll be interesting to see just what comes of this. And I'm at, because another thing that would be really neat is if you were to get this ending and you were allowed to keep playing through, as if it was like the royalty ending or you launch your starship ending. It would be interesting if, your base doesn't get attacked nearly as often by all these horrors. Like, you got the ending, you destroyed you damage the machine god or whatever you choose to do with it, and now the world's, there's just remnants of these horrors left in the world. Some of them might still persist on, like the flesh beasts. Others you'll barely see at all, like the Nociosphere or the Revenant, those kind of guys. That'd be pretty cool if it just, suddenly decreased all of it, all the spawn rates of them all, unless you deliberately try to call them out. It'd be interesting. That's all for now. 1.5 and Anomaly will be released on the 11th. Wish list, all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. So, overall, pretty excited. This definitely does tease quite a bit. It doesn't show a whole lot either. It will be neat to start to go after this ending. I would like to do that in the series we're going to have for it. That being said, of course, we're going to be doing it with all the other DLCs enabled, so my mechanoids are going to be making sure that the machine gods stay in check. I'm curious if there's any, what sort of integrations this would have with the other DLCs. Like, I can imagine maybe there's a couple new psychic powers if you have royalty enabled, maybe, I don't know, some like, something else. My brain completely fried there for a second. Ideology, obviously you could add like a couple new ideologies to this. One where it's heavy on the rituals. Meme that goes, hey, or precept that encourages a lot of rituals, or mandatory, hey, we must have X amount, we must do a lot of rituals within a year. Or meme that's just, hey, we're going to celebrate the Eldritch horrors that are being, or not Eldritch horrors, the nightmare horrors that are coming from this. And biotech, obviously, you could have maybe a new mechanoid, a couple of dark mechanoid variants that you can get from some of these pieces, which would be interesting. Perhaps you can get a mechanoid that specializes in containing all of the creatures that you're trying to contain, and maybe a couple new genes and the like. For instance, this guy down here, who obviously is pretty twisted, perhaps there could be a couple genes added to biotech that makes them come already like pre-twisted. So they might have spikes sticking out of their back, porcupine style, or be this heavily disfigured tentacles like they mentioned. There's a few things that... Oh, and also I had mentioned previously a hemogen backpack that, while it pumps more, a pack restores 10 units, the backpack would restore 15 per charge, but it would allow you to effectively recharge out in the field without having to stop, have your colonists consume the hemogen, and then go back into the fight right afterwards. So things like that, small things to integrate it with the other mods, would be fascinating. I also can't wait to see some of this dark archotechnology relics or artifacts. I want to see what they're going to do and how they play into this. But I can't wait for Anomaly to come out. Don't forget, set your clocks or set your calendars to April 11th. I'll definitely be playing. I'm not sure if I'll stream the first little bit of it from when I start up. I'll think about that, and we'll see what it comes to that day. But anyways, thank you for tuning in. I hope you're excited about Anomaly. Overall, I think it's got potential to be pretty good. It's not going to be the same level as Biotech is. By no means. Biotech was a whole other experience, but I think this is going to, for what it's offering and for what it's trying to, the experience that it's trying to bring, I think it's going to succeed in that. So, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take it easy.